Thank you for being here. So welcome to the Nonprofit Center at 41 Community Place. We're here to celebrate a vision that was first discussed 4 years ago coming to life. And we have an absolutely perfect weather day to do it, don't you think? I'm Jennifer Purcell, and I've had the honor and privilege of leading this effort for the past 2.5 years. We had an open house with no furniture back in February and a soft launch in May, but we held off on an official ribbon cutting until the first nonprofits moved in, and I look forward to introducing them to you today. But first, we wouldn't be here and the Nonprofit Center wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the people sitting here to my right. You probably know that County Executive Pittman has been a steadfast supporter of the nonprofit sector since taking office in 2018. In 2022, he recognized the vital services provided by nonprofits during his inauguration speech right here on the Crownsville campus. He's backed up those sentiments in the county budget by enhancing the Community Support Grant Program and funding the Nonprofit Center's operating budget. Please welcome to the podium County Executive Stuart Pittman.
This is pretty awesome, isn't it? Raise your hand if you've actually been inside fairly recently. You have, a lot of you have, good. When you walk into this building, it is, I feel like I'm being held in a warm embrace with these amazing brick walls, this really strong building. The bones of this building and the bones of the buildings all across Crownsville are incredibly strong, and they carry history with them. And having this become the county's nonprofit center as a place to accelerate the work of usually small nonprofits that need a place to be, but also a place for nonprofits to convene is a dream come true for me. And it's not been easy. Wouldn't have been possible were it not for the good old earmarks from our amazing congressional delegation, though, the $3 million. But let me go back a little bit to the history of this. We had this building, these two buildings actually were county owned before we got all of Crownsville transferred to the county from the state. And that process, I think most of you know about. It was something that I knew we had to do from the beginning. It just took a long time for the state to do yet another study about how to dispose of their properties, and COVID slowed all of that down. But this property is the geographic center of Anne Arundel County. It is mostly green. It has beautiful, beautiful forests. It has beautiful open space. It has extraordinary trees, and it has beautiful buildings. But it has a history that is the history of structural racism, institutional racism in America on steroids. What happened here was very well documented in Antonia Hilton's book. I hope many of you have read it, Madness, the history of this place. And it's not all a history to be ashamed of. There were some extraordinary people who worked here, especially when they integrated the staff, and they did some extraordinary work. But the history of the way the state of Maryland did not fund this property, and the way students from Bowie State University testified in the Maryland General Assembly and talked about the way patients were treated here and some of the abuse that took place here. So the master plan for Crownsville includes space for Bowie State University, who is looking for some satellite campus activities. You will see some of those beautiful buildings become almost an extension of the nonprofit center. You will see the trails, the history being told. I hope many of you come to the unveiling of the memorial, the Say My Name memorial at the grave site here, where over 1,000 all but one black residents were buried without their names on the graves. We have those names now. We'll be on a memorial. That's coming up very soon. But the nonprofit center, to me, is the early catalyst. We were able to get started here early. We knew that our nonprofit sector in Anne Arundel County is very strong. During COVID, it was the nonprofit center that was able to mobilize quickly and get into communities and make sure that people had vaccinations, make sure that people had test sites that they could go to, and do a lot of public education. That wouldn't have been possible without the nonprofit center. Our Department of Health is continuing a lot of that work. We've learned lessons from a lot of that work. And we know that nonprofit organizations deliver services often more efficiently than government can, and often in the community in a more integrated way than the rest of government can. You may have noticed that in the Capital Gazette and Baltimore Sun last week, they did a front page article attacking the governor of Maryland because he didn't give them a figure of how much money was going to these horrible nonprofit organizations from taxpayers. No government actually categorizes their spending by the tax status of the organizations they partner with. There are always public-private partnerships with all kinds of organizations. But for some reason, there are those who think it shouldn't be happening with hospitals and research organizations and community development organizations that are in communities and small nonprofits. Well, I say it should be. The governor says it should be, and we should be proud of those partnerships. And I hope that in this building, more of those partnerships get built and more of that work gets done. So I told the senator I was going to get kind of passionate, and I am kind of passionate about this. I'm incredibly proud of the work that Jen Purcell has done to put this together. Yeah. I think it's sort of a dream job and maybe a lifelong mission for her as well. And I'm really excited to see that we have our first 3 organizations that are here and many more to come. I'm just so glad that this got done before I was gone. You know, a lot of the projects you start don't happen until you're done. But I get to experience some of this as well. And I will come back here with my kids and maybe my grandkids and say, look, this is something that we started, and this is something that's going to make Anne Arundel County stronger for many, many decades to come. So I also get to introduce the next few speakers, the first being my friend, Senator Chris Van Hollen, who I've been a super fan of his for as long as I've known his name, but recently I've become even more of a super fan. And I will just say that it is when a public servant, a member of Congress, even after as many years as he's been in public service, continues to have the passion and the sense of what is just and what is not just, and continues to carry it so strongly that even when the political pundits say, don't go to El Salvador and help that guy who we don't know his history and there might be something bad there, and he did it anyway, and he did it because it was the right thing to do to uphold the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the right thing to do from a humanitarian perspective. And you may remember that polling before he went there showed Donald Trump's approval ratings on immigration policy and his tactics above 50%. He went, the whole nation watched as this senator put himself in danger to go and find out what was going on down at this horrible prison. And now polling shows that approval for Donald Trump's activities on immigration are in the low 40s. They're down closer to where they belong. And I credit that largely to the work of our amazing Senator Chris Van Hollen. So come on.
Well, thank you, Stuart. And this is a special day in Anne Arundel County. It's also a special day for all of Maryland, given the history of this place and the transformation that's taking place. And it is really an honor to join all of you as we take the next step in that journey to transform a place that was once a notorious institution with a dark history of racism and abuse into a place of opportunity and a place for a better future for everybody. And I want to salute everybody who's been part of this effort. I want to thank all the community leaders. I want to thank the advisory board. I want to thank all the elected officials. I do want to give a special thanks to Stuart Pittman, County Executive Pittman, because we would not be here today if it wasn't for your determination and perseverance on this project. Please join me in thanking Stuart. It's just one example of so many important investments he's made because he believes in making sure that everybody in Anne Arundel County has a chance to succeed. That's what gets him up every morning, and I want to thank him. I want to thank him for working with the council members here in Howard County. Thank all of you for being part of this. And of course, to the General Assembly members who are here, including one who recently had helped your Anne Arundel County congressional delegation, Sarah Elfreth, who was been a real stalwart supporter of this project from the time she was in the General Assembly and is now carrying that torch in the United States Congress. Also going to hear from a representative from my new partner in the Senate, Angela Alser-Brooks, who's also picking up the baton here. This, as you all know, has been a journey with many different steps. I remember back in October, Stuart, when I was at the location a little ways from here, where Senator Cardin and then Congressman Sarbanes and I announced $4 million to help take down the dilapidated buildings that are part of this complex and begin the process of turning that into a park area with community trails. At that time, we also announced $500,000, $500,000 to preserve the historic records that are such an important part of the story here, from that dark period to the moment that we're in now. And that's what today's all about. It's the next step on trying to transform that dark period of time into a time of opportunity. Not to lock people behind closed doors, but to open those doors of opportunity. And that's why I'm very pleased we were able to secure $3 million of federal funds to help with all the funds that the county has put in and others have put in for this important next step as we open this place and make this a home for the nonprofits who do so much important good work. Jennifer Purcell, thank you for your leadership. I know this has been an important vision of yours. Congratulations on helping make it come true today. And to the nonprofits that we'll hear from NAMI, I want to thank them for the work they do nationally, and of course the local chapter, helping people with mental health challenges in the right way and making sure that we end the stigma of mental illness and make sure that everybody has a chance to have their needs addressed so that they can achieve their full potential. To the other nonprofits, One Annapolis, who does so much good work in many, many different areas, and of course Sapphire Rose, who's going to be training the next generation of scientists and engineers. Again, this is now a place of hope and opportunity, and I want to thank all of you who are part of it. And again, the story is one that I think our country can learn from, not just our state, but our country, which is confronting our past, telling the story of those dark days, but using that past to learn about our mistakes, and beyond that, make these investments so a place that was once notorious is now a place where opportunity will open its doors to so many people. So thank you to all of you who made this happen. It is a great day, as I said at the beginning, not only for Anne Arundel County, but for the state of Maryland. I would say an example for the country. Thank all of you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, and for being here today. So, Congresswoman Elfreth was Senator Elfreth for most of the time that I've been in this job, and I will tell you that as Senator Elfreth, Congresswoman Elfreth told me what was going on a lot, and even had some suggestions about what to do. And I don't know if you remember this, and I didn't mention it to you before, because I don't want you to correct me if I'm wrong, but you can get up here and correct me. You came to me early on in our terms and you said, we've got all these amazing nonprofit organizations that are good at doing the work, but they're not necessarily good at writing grant proposals. They don't have administrative support. They don't even have offices. And what are we going to do about that, Pittman? And that's not the only person who said that. Some of these organizations said it as well. But when you hear it from your senator, you don't forget it. So while Congresswoman Elfreth was not in office when the decision about this earmark was made, she is in office now. And we are really, really lucky that she is in office. I have watched very closely as my friend, the person who first suggested that I run for this office, and who I endorsed early on for that office, went to Washington, and is both fighting like hell, but also figuring out where there are cracks in the system that she can step into the gap and actually accomplish something and make something happen for the people of her district. And one of them is a building that's here on the Crownsville site, the Meyer building. And we went to her and we said, we really want to make this the first place at Crownsville that does some housing, transitional housing. She said, let's do a clinic there too, and let's make it for veterans and families. So we have in our master plan the Meyer building, one of the biggest buildings, and one of the ones that's in the best shape to do exactly that. And I know that she's fighting like you-know-what in Congress to get the funding in, and maybe she has something to say about that, but I just want to thank you for inspiring me and continuing to deliver.
Thank you so much, Mr. County Executive. I do remember that conversation because Anne Arundel County is home to so many vibrant, critical nonprofits. Can folks just raise your hand if you're involved in the nonprofit network or community in Anne Arundel County? The fact that this isn't your home yet, the fact that you are here in support of these wonderful nonprofits, I know means the world to them and it means the world to us. And I remember having that conversation because we have so many great nonprofits who don't always have a grant writer on staff or don't always have an accountant or an attorney or that critical support staff that can help them grow and reach the next level. And it's places like this that can be a hub for just that important work. I also remember a conversation, I served on the Budget and Taxation Committee in the Senate for 6 years, and we were thinking about what major project the state could invest in. And I called the county executive and said, what do you need funding for the most? And year after year, of all the critical projects in this county, the county executive would always say Crownsville. And I just want to emphasize to this group how important it is that he raised his hand and took on this project because it is complicated, it's complex. It has a history that many people would turn away from instead of confront. It has major infrastructure challenges that require not just funding from the county and your partners, but also laser focus and organization to make sure that we can turn this place that was once, as was said, a place of structural racism, a place where people with our neighbors with the most challenging of mental health issues were locked up and were turned away from so many other spaces in our communities. The fact that he was willing to take this on just means the world, and it's a very, very big deal. And as Senator Van Hollen said, whatever we can do at the federal delegation and Team Maryland, along with Senator Alsobrooks, to help support this work, we are fighting for you each and every day. And there's not a lot of good news stories out there, folks. Everybody keeps asking me how I'm doing, and I always say I'm doing my best. And I know that everybody else here is as well, because we're facing a lot of challenges at the federal level. And that's why days like this, that we can take a moment and celebrate something that's meaningful, something that's going to have greater community impact than any one individual, really does mean the world. And we're going to continue to fight in the federal delegation, as I know the state delegation and Senator Guile are going to continue to fight at the state level to bring back the necessary funds. This is just one piece of so many great opportunities moving forward to heal, to build, to bring back opportunities to communities that need it the most. I'm so impressed with the work that NAMI has done. Sapphire Rising, I mean, just incredible opportunities for young women in the STEM fields. It's just incredible. One Annapolis that has been bringing together the community for so long to bridge the two Annapolises. I am so appreciative of your work, and it's just the beginning. There's many more fights ahead, many more victories ahead. And yes, I believe we're going to have some good federal funding news ahead. I don't want to spill the beans yet, but we are continuing to work on behalf of this community, of the survivors of Crownsville, the folks who worked at Crownsville, to continue to make this place somewhere where folks can heal. And I'm so proud to be here today. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
And Jessica Cook was here with her former boss, Senator Cardin, multiple times, I think. He was inspired, she was inspired, a huge advocate. And so I was really pleased when our new senator, Angela Alsobrooks, hire Jessica to continue to do this work. But I will also say that I took candidate Senator also Brooks, county executive at the time, on a tour of Crownsville. And I took her on a tour of some other places in the county as well, but this is the place where her eyes lit up and where her jaw set. And I knew immediately, and she said that she would do anything in her power to make sure that this project is completed and that it recognizes the history and provides the services that we've been promising. So come and speak for the senator who wasn't able to make it, but well represented.
Thank you, County Executive Pittman, and good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many community advocates here this morning. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here to celebrate with you, along with Senator Van Hollen, Representative Elfreth, the Anne Arundel County Council, members of District 33, and all of today's program participants. On behalf of Senator Also Brooks, I want to thank County Executive Pittman for his vision for a community dedicated to health and wellness, a community where every resident can have access to resources that promote healthy living. This nonprofit incubator helps make that vision a reality. There are over 40,000 nonprofits in the state of Maryland, and leaders on the state and county level know very well what they mean to our communities. They help our communities thrive. So much of their work helps fill in the gaps and make sure our most vulnerable populations don't get overlooked or left behind. It's something Senator Also Brooks knows well from her time as Prince George's County Executive. She's taken that spirit with her to the Senate, joining the rest of Team Maryland in DC in their fight to make sure nonprofits across the state have the resources they need. The leadership of Anne Arundel County shares that same spirit, providing a space for training, developing, and learning best practices. What this incubator represents is this county's commitment to growing the programs and initiatives that grow our communities. That's reason enough to celebrate today, but today's ribbon cutting is also a celebration of what's possible when we focus on transforming challenges into constructive solutions. We know the challenges presented by the history of Crownsville Hospital when the well-being of the whole community wasn't a consideration. We saw during the COVID-19 pandemic that stubborn disparities in health still exist. We saw how critical a focus on community health and wellness truly is. We saw the critical need that nonprofits fill. It was in the midst of that challenge that this county's leadership sought a sustainable solution. So, this incubator and the larger Crownsville Hospital Memorial Park project has been about learning the lessons from an imperfect past and building a future that offers wellness to everyone. That's why County Executive Pittman and his team have committed to doing. That's why the county sought and received federal funding to renovate this building and make it a home for progress. That's why they've invested in this entire project to turn the Crownsville Hospital site from a harmful environment to an inclusive community space with lasting wellness as its purpose. Today brings that goal a step closer, and Team Maryland pledges to be here to support your every effort to make this community better, stronger, and healthier for years to come.
So you may have noticed when you came in, there were some park rangers. In fact, there's a ranger truck over there. They were helping to direct traffic. That is because this is now Crownsville Hospital Memorial Park. And Jessica Lays, the director of Rec and Parks, is here. Yep, raise your hand. Yep, okay. She does the heart thing. So that's an exciting aspect of all of this as well. But none of it happens at the county level without the ultimate fiscal authority and the legislative body of the county council. So if we could have Council Chair Julie Hummer come up, Councilwoman Lisa Rodvian, We've got Councilman Pete Smith and Councilwoman Allison Pickard. We have a majority.
So this is a beautiful day to come. Jen, I will have to say you did a great job controlling the weather and bringing us out today, so this is gorgeous. This is the perfect project to illustrate what we can do when we all work together. So not only did we have federal and state partnership, we had a vision from the administration, and we had full backing of the county council to provide the funding to make this an ongoing project. But even more importantly, we have the full support from all of our nonprofit partners who are the people doing the good work every day on the ground. And I'm so excited for our first three who are here today as the residents, because they are going to be wonderful advocates to the rest of the nonprofit community of what this center can do to improve and expand on the great work they're already doing. So thank you everyone for coming out today. We're thrilled about this. And now Vice Chair Rodvian, this is her district, and she has a citation to present.
Thank you so much. This has been just such a long journey, and it's so exciting to see parts of it coming to life. Roll back, rewind to 2018, when many of us here were campaigning for the first time. And as our Chair Hummer said, this is indeed my district. I'm proud to represent District 6, which includes Crownsville. As I was knocking doors in this area, this was actually a pretty big issue back in 2018. What should be the future of this place? And as many of you may remember, at that time, the future was possibly a sports complex. And I will tell you that idea didn't go over well with many of the people that I spoke with. So I'm proud to say that when many of us here took office, the question was actually turned back to the community and said, what do you want this place to be? And there were community listening sessions and brainstorming and bringing people together, all different constituencies, opening the door, making sure that folks that were aware of the history in the past were very well represented. And ideas like this were absolutely part of the conversation. So it's very exciting to see this part of it come to life. Things that were once just on paper are now in 3 dimensions and are going to be filled with people, and people who serve and people who have needs and can then serve themselves. So on behalf of the Anne Arundel County Council, I'd like to read this citation. Presented to the Nonprofit Center at 41 Community Place on the occasion of its grand opening, wishing you much success with the opening of the Nonprofit Center, and with deep appreciation for the center's commitment to serve and enrich the citizens of Anne Arundel County on this 4th day of August, 2025, signed by all 7 members of the County Council, 4 of us here today. And it's my honor to present this to Jennifer Purcell.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Congresswoman Elfreth did mention her advocacy for funding early on when she was a senator. I will say that that was $30 million. Thank you. That was what really made a lot of this possible. But Delegate Bagnall, whose district this is also in from the Maryland General Assembly, has been a huge advocate and engaged. She wasn't able to be here, but Rory has a citation. And I also want to recognize from the city of Annapolis, Alderwoman Rhonda Pindell Charles. Where are you, Rhonda? Are you still here? Yes, thank you. Rhonda can tell you stories about Crownsville. Crownsville is an important part of the history of the city of Annapolis, particularly the Black community of the city of Annapolis for a very long time. So thank you for being here, Rhonda, as well. And our citation.
Thank you. I will keep this very brief. All of the members of District 33 are very, very sad that they couldn't make it today, because this has been a long, many decades time coming in order to get to this point. Because those who know Crownsville know that this place had a very challenged history with memories that challenge our perceptions of how we came to be Anne Arundel County. And since then, this place has become a place of hope. Because even though this is the beginning of the nonprofit center, we've already had nonprofits who have become a pinnacle of service and rehabilitation here, which is awesome, and we're very proud of that. And so on behalf of the entire delegation, not just District 33, we want to thank our congressional partners for your partnership in helping fund this place so we can continue that vision. And we want to thank the county for being such good stewards of this property when the state wasn't for so long. So thank you all for your help. Without any further ado, on behalf of the entire Anne Arundel County delegation, sincerest congratulations are offered to Anne Arundel County's Nonprofit Center in recognition of the ribbon cutting and official opening of this new resource to our community. Congratulations on this newly renovated space, and we cannot wait to see the positivity this center will bring to Anne Arundel County. Presented on this 4th day of August 2025, on behalf of Senator Don Guile, Chair Delegate Andrew Pruski, and the entire delegation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if we do pictures or not. Oh, should we do, oh, it's falling apart. Should we do it? Ready?
Sure.
So, on behalf of all the nonprofits that have participated in our programs the past 2 years and those that will join us in the future, I want to thank everybody again. For those of you not familiar with the Nonprofit Center, I'll share a brief overview. Our mission is to build the capacity of local nonprofits so they can better serve the residents of Anne Arundel County, and we prioritize those that address the social determinants of health. We do this in 2 ways. First, by providing professional development opportunities and resources in a variety of formats. That includes cohorts to conferences, virtual learning to one-on-one consulting, all created based on input that we receive from local nonprofits. Second, and what you see behind me, is a low-cost option for office space that comes with shared amenities, a collaborative work environment, priority use of our meeting spaces, which I think is the best amenity, and support toward achieving each nonprofit's capacity building goals. The building has 13,900 square feet of usable space, including 14 private offices and 11 cubicle workspaces, which range from 36 to 312 square feet. There are 6 bookable meeting spaces for 1 to 100. Not all 6 are 1 to, oh, there's only 1 that's for 100, but 6 bookable spaces and several common shared spaces, including a waiting area, break room, resource library, lactation room, and copy center. And there's a beautiful courtyard on the south side of the building that has a ton of potential. It's a big space, as you can see, and a small staff. Our team is growing, thanks to County Executive Pittman and the County Council. 2 new positions, which bring us to a total of 3, were approved in the fiscal 26 budget, fiscal year 26. We're hosting our 2nd round interviews this week, and I really look forward to having a team on board soon. That's going to allow us to open up some of these spaces for other nonprofits, and stay tuned for more information on that. So speaking of the team, I want to introduce Connor, Juliet, and Shellen. These are the Nonprofit Center's interns. You can wave. They've been part of a 9-week internship here. They've been amazing to work with, and they've done tremendous work. Thank you so much. We have citations for you, but I'm not going to read them now. We'll take care of that later. Let's see. Also want to thank members of the advisory committee who have been along with me on this journey for the past 2 years. Those of you that are here, and I've seen some of you, raise your hands. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, and I'll admit that it's been quite a roller coaster of emotions for me throughout this project, especially during the renovation portion. But seeing the vision come to life and our first nonprofits here in the building really has brought a true sense of joy. I mean, I drive home now and feel so joyful and grateful to be a part of this. So now it's time to meet our first 3 resident nonprofits and hear why they chose to be part of this capacity building journey. First is Sapphire Rise. They were the first organization to sign on the dotted line, and I just love their vision and energy. Founded in just 2023, Sapphire Rise empowers youth from underrepresented communities by providing STEM education experiences that bridge curiosity with opportunity. Through hands-on labs, innovative technology, and community partnerships, they equip students with the skills, confidence, and vision to thrive as future scientists, engineers, creators, and leaders. So I would like to introduce their Chief Executive Officer, LaTanya Powell.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning, Maryland. We are so happy to be here. Sapphire Rise officially started its journey 2 years ago when 2 boy moms, myself and Beth Adams, we decided to leave the federal government after 15 years of service to establish an organization that offers STEM. Of course that happens. My apologies.
Never trust us.
I know, I'm thinking the same thing. That offers STEM opportunities which shows new possibilities to our sons, their friends, and community. However, the simple but profound desire to help change the lives of people dates back to childhood. When our parents, Jonathan and Dorothy Footman, and Carnell and Sarah Adams, taught us the value and importance of helping people no matter their background. These teachings are guiding us through this journey with the legacy of them in mind. We are here today to celebrate our pillars of innovation, community, and sustainability with a group of people committed to education and well-being of students K through 12 and beyond, searching for the answers to a better, greater tomorrow, challenged with such uncertainty in the world. Through our STEM.org accredited nonprofit, we are able to offer quality programming and services to 2,600 plus students, building a strong ecosystem by partnering with amazing administrators, teachers, local businesses, and organizations, including Anne Arundel County Public Schools, specifically Meade Middle, thank you, Anne Arundel Parks and Recs, Anne Arundel Workforce Development, and as well as Howard County Workforce Development. We're spreading the love because we know the importance of this program. Sapphire Rise started with a passion to change the world one child at a time, but our efforts were realized and supported by critical business leaders like Jill Porter and Carrie Long from Anne Arundel Economic Development and Maryland Commerce, and Brian Harper, who continuously helps us make connections with the right people and considers the best approach to maintaining business and scaling. Which brings us to our early sponsorship of 50+ laptops from Cognizant to help us show up for students in a way that most people only talk about. We are grateful for the grants and in-kind donations from Google, Microsoft, Canva, and of course the Nonprofit Center, which allows us the tools and provide safe environments for our students to learn as we prepare for our RISE STEM Labs. We look ahead to our future programs and partnerships with Tipton Airport for our RISE Aero Aviation Program and Girl Scouts of Central Maryland STEM programs, and of course the launch of our online RISE STEM Academy. Sapphire Rise continues important memberships with Central Maryland Chamber of Commerce and our Friends of Meade, both graced with supportive leadership from Dewan Claiborne and General Gore and staff, guiding us to meaningful networking and even more beneficial partnerships. Lastly, we must acknowledge our family and friends who have endured the sacrifice of time and funds, who watched us build Sapphire Rise from the bottom up into something we can all be proud of. Thank you for the continued love and support. We look forward to creating pathways that show students they belong in the STEM community with the confidence of a strong support system and that transforms their dreams to reality. Create the change you want to see. Thank you.
Wait until you see what these ladies have created in their space. It's really amazing. So the National Alliance for Mental Illness, Anne Arundel County, I need my glasses, excuse me, is dedicated to improving the quality of lives of individuals affected by mental illness and providing support for their families, friends, and caregivers. Given the history of the Crownsville State Hospital site, the vision for Crownsville Hospital Memorial Park, and the proximity to the treatment facilities here on the Crownsville campus, we are thrilled to have NAMI here. Really is a perfect fit. Please welcome Executive Director Fred Delp.
Good morning. What a beautiful day we have. You really did get the weather right. On behalf of all the board and staff and volunteers and friends of NAMI, known as National Alliance on Mental Illness of Anne Arundel County, I want to express my appreciation to all the dignitaries that are here today and to everyone here for all that you've done to make this ribbon-cutting ceremony today. But most of all, on behalf of NAMI, I do want to thank a few people. First of all, our county executive for making this dream come through, this endeavor, how great it is 3 or 4 years ago to finally make it happen. Thank you, Mr. Pittman. And I'd like to thank Jennifer. She's been a terrific lady. It's just been wonderful working with her. Thanks to her so much for making this 41 Community Place happen. I know I've exchanged hundreds of emails, texts, phone calls back and forth, and it's just been a real pleasure. Thank you, Jennifer. And I'd also like to give a special one to somebody that helped me find about this. I didn't even knew about this happening, but Adrian Michler, standing right over there, is Executive Director of the Mental Health Agency. I was in her office having a meeting one day, and she was the one that told me all about this happening, and here we are 4 years later. It's wonderful. And lastly, I'd like to thank our Board of Directors, President Kia Chandler, and the entire board, many of them are here today, for allowing NAMI Anne Arundel County to join on going through this lengthy process to have this new office at 41 Community Place. We at NAMI Anne Arundel County are very excited. Most of you may know that NAMI is a national organization. We are one of 1,300 affiliates across the United States. Mental health challenges, mental illness is a major problem. It is here in Anne Arundel County, and we are here to help. We were incorporated many, many years ago. This will be our first office. It's been a long time coming. I first spoke to our board 6 or 7 years ago about going to a new office, but we never thought we could move ahead on it due to financial concerns. But here we are today, and we are ready. Our mission at NAMI Anne Arundel County, as she just said, is we're dedicated to improving the quality of lives of those individuals with mental health challenges, with mental illness, and as well helping their parents, their loved ones, their families, and caregivers. We partner with many organizations in the county, the County Health Department, the Mental Health Agency, Crisis Response, CIT, our hospitals, and many other health providers. They're here on the grounds also. We reach hundreds and hundreds of people and individuals and families each year with our grassroots efforts. We do our face-to-face education classes and our support groups and many other special events. Although we've been very successful using churches and libraries and restaurants and other meeting places, working out of our homes, now we will be able to have people come directly to us, to our office for individual meetings, pick up some brochures, meet our staff, and learn more about us and what we do. And a major part of this is that we will be able to now use these wonderful large conference rooms for meeting rooms that we can have our education classes and support groups and special events. That's really special for us. Our dedicated staff, Donna and Linda and I, are here. We'll be in this office throughout the week at different times. We're so thankful to be here to offer our help to people in our county for mental health and mental illness. NAMI Anne Arundel County is so thankful to you all for making 41 Community Place happen for us as we further our work and expand our work in mental health and mental illness. We are honored and so grateful to be part of this wonderful place, which we now can call our first office our home. Thank you.
All right. One Annapolis. So the mission of One Annapolis is to educate, empower, and engage communities by creating transformative educational spaces, engaging families through advocacy, and empowering community leaders through fiscal sponsorships. One Annapolis received a Track 1 grant through Governor Moore's Enough Grant program. Track 1 focuses on building the foundational relationships and the infrastructure needed to prepare for deeper work, and that is the definition of capacity building. So again, another perfect fit. Welcome, Ratasha Harley, Executive Director of One Annapolis.
Good morning, everyone. I will be brief because I know it's been a lot of talking. I know we want to get to the action of the ribbon cutting. So again, yes, my name is Ratasha Harley. I'm the founder and proud executive director of One Annapolis. This vision was birthed in 2017 with just myself and a few colleagues of mine as we were doing the grind work at Monarch Academy Annapolis. And the vision was powerful, of course, right? It was to dismantle this notion of the other Annapolis and to constantly and consistently and purposefully work towards creating and building one Annapolis. And so I'm so very proud that now, after actually only 1 year of really being fully established, we are one of 27 organizations that receive the Enough grant from the governor's office. We have a 21st Century Community Learning Center at Annapolis Middle School. We have over 3,000 square feet in the Bywater community that we're transforming into native conservation landscape, and sky's the limit, right? We are being so purposeful in uplifting and empowering the most marginalized children and families in the city of Annapolis, again, to really move towards to creating one Annapolis. And so I'm thankful for my team that's here. I'm thankful for all of the support that we've received throughout the years, just for myself personally, but also, of course, for our organization. Sorry. Let me actually get to my speech. All right. Our values are rooted in unity and community and reconciliation, faith, integrity, and accountability. And today, as I stand here, I am reminded that we are not just doing work, that we are truly making history. As a Black-led nonprofit, it is not lost on me that this day is very, very significant for us. And this move into this space is very, very significant for us. We will be housed in a space that actually was the antithesis of everything that we hold true and dear to us. We will be housed in a space that once symbolized separation and oppression and confinement and exclusion for those who look like us, actually even some of our own family members. It's not lost that we will be housed in a space that once denied Black dignity, but that will now amplify Black voices. And so I truly believe that today is really for us not just about an office space, and by that we are so grateful. No more meetings in Panera, no more meetings in the car, no more home office space where the Wi-Fi keeps going out. We are thankful. But it is really about reclaiming space and honoring those who were so marginalized on these grounds, and transforming all of that pain that we felt as we walked into this building into purpose that will continue to drive us forward. And so in closing, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much to everyone who was so integral in renovating and creating this space. Thank you, Jennifer, for being so accommodating. May, Lily, I see you in the back, yes. Thank you for welcoming us. This is such a huge step in the journey of One Annapolis, and I'm so humbled to be a part of this shared history with all of you here. God bless, thank you.
All right, we're done. So we're really so pleased that you're here with us, and we look forward to working with you and to welcoming more like-minded organizations that are doing great things for the county. And with that, we are ready to cut a ribbon. So I would like all elected officials and any of the board members of our 3 nonprofits to come on up here.
3, 2, 1, boom. Yes.